Hello queens, angels and goddesses. Welcome back to my channel. Warning, this contains boy love and if you don't like it get off my channel. Water pistol. Grinning face with cowboy hat. I stretch out my limbs, feeling the soft sheets. It is warm here. My eyes opened as I gripped onto the blanket that was pulled over me. The ceiling is white, why would it be any other color? I stretched out my tired muscles with a groan. A deep breath of afternoon air fills my lungs as my chest slowly rises and falls. We left the window open again, didn't we? I look over to the window that was left ajar, an arm-like branch desperately reached in. Maybe I should trim it. Do I even have the right tools? I turn my head, blinking. A head of ginger poked out from underneath the striped quilt cover. Faint snoring was heard from underneath the blankets. I watch his form, rising and falling gently. Still asleep, fair enough. We spent the morning riding out bikes to the farmers markets. Sho says he prefers the taste of vegetables here, but to be honest, I can't tell the difference. I could not help but roll over to his side of the bed, wrapping my limbs around his form gently. He was a heavy sleeper, but I managed to rustle him awake. Hi. I whisper into his ear and bury my nose into his fluffy, orange locks. Taking a deep breath, I inhaled in his scent. He smelled like his favorite shampoo, something fancy with oats. His clothes smelled like our laundry detergent and the slightly sweaty aftermath of our bike ride. I took it all in anyways. Hinata made a gurgling sound. Well, I think he did. I moved and rested my cheek against his. It was still warm, and I just lay there, feeling him breathe. I licked my dry lips. Is it dinner already? A tired Hinata asked, his voice still husky. He cleared his throat, turning over to roll me off him. I flopped back onto my side of the bed, sinking into the mattress. The sheets were already cold, felt nice. No, maybe. Are you hungry? I roll back towards him, wrapping my arms around him like a clingy bear cub. His body was so warm compared to mine. It was like this since high school. Hinata would walk around the house in nothing but his underwear sometimes. Even in the dead of winter. Hinata grunted and I felt him pull the blanket over his head, trying to go back to sleep. I pouted and squeezed his sides. Let's go out for dinner. Hinata grunted again. Ice cream? I suggested. I dramatically huffed and let go, laying back on my back. My eyes fixated on the ceiling above me, studying the little cracks in the corners. I saw a little cellar spider in its web. It was just sitting there. Why you? I heard the muffled voice from underneath the blanket. Surprisingly, he could breathe under there. What? Hinata whipped his portion of the blanket off his head with a loud huff as he exhaled fresh air. He rested his arms on the blanket. I was thinking. About what? I interjected. I was just thinking about how weird it all is. Hinata turned over to face me, resting his head against his arm. I mean, sometimes I think of when we first met. I literally insulted you. I turned my head to see Hinata's lip curl into a cheeky smile. I couldn't help but smile back. It's okay, you were like 16. I laughed, remembering fondly. Hinata exhaled audibly. Then you asked to get ice cream with me almost every week without fail. Was that your secret ploy to ask me on dates without actually calling them dates? Maybe. I grinned, my voice dragging out the last vowel. I didn't even realize it at first because it never occurred to me how much I wanted to be with you. I guess I was a raging bisexual by heart my entire life, I admitted. I mean, you did get pretty blushy when I called you senpai for the first time. Hinata teased. Oh please, that's so embarrassing, man. Do not remind me. I don't know why I got such a power trip from that. Well, I'm not surprised that you have a kin. No, double quote. Hinata just laughed loudly and flapped his arms against the blanket. Are you going to spew on about how you'd never ever expect to be dating me? Sho, you do that every time you get drunk. Almost without fail. Hinata made a weird face. I can't really describe it, but he looked like he was eating something sour. Oh, come on. Don't make that face. I chuckled and grabbed his tanned face with my hands. My fingers squeezed his cheeks, making a fish face. Hinata stuck his tongue out at me. What fact, he mumbled. I grinned at how stupid he looked before letting go. It's okay, I get sentimental about it too. No regrets though, never ever. I exclaimed and wrapped my arms around him again. Do you love me? He asked out of the blue. It caught me off guard, even making my heart beat faster. I have heard it so many times, but now it felt different. Of course, I do. Nerd. Hinata chuckled and squirmed around under my arms. Hell yeah. Why do you love me? He sounded pleased with himself. Firstly, you're a dork. So, are you? He shouted, interrupting me. Secondly, you're the strongest person I know. Mr. Professional Volleyball Player. You've worked so incredibly hard that sometimes I'm shocked I'm with someone so amazing. I claimed the title of Hinata Xiaoya's #1 fan. Hinata made a noise and flexed his biceps, moving around. I grabbed his bicep with a hand and squeeze it. You're mega buff too. Almost as cool as me though. After Hinata came back from Brazil, I was very pleasantly surprised that he decided to go to the gym. I did catch myself staring too much at his new toned form. I quickly started going too, trying to catch up to his gains. If you can't compete with your boyfriend, where's the fun? No, why you? I can't be as cool as you. Thirdly, you're the most patient person I've ever met. You waited so long for me, and you never once gave up on me or your dreams. You had all these options, but you still chose my lame ass for some reason. Hinata was quiet for a moment before he started making fake sobbing noises. That was so poetic. He laughed, breaking his facade. Of course, I'll wait for you. If you'll wait for me too. I'll wait 1,000 years if I have to. I miss you every day when I'm overseas and I can't sleep if you don't wish me goodnight even if you're in the middle of lunch back home. When we first got together, we weren't even in Japan for long enough to go on more than one date. But you still wanted to see me after I was gone for a month. I thought you would have already forgotten me by then. I could never forget you. I know, and I can't ever forget you, even if I really wanted to. Your face is stained in everything I experience, and I see you in everyone I meet. Is that cheesy? I chuckled. A little, yeah. It was so hard at the start. I wanted to be with you for so long, but I just couldn't. I wanted to be in your arms and to feel your warmth, your skin, and to smell your scent. The fight was hard, but I knew that if we could survive that part, I knew I'd wanted to be with you forever. There it was, the heart tug. I might start crying. Okay, you're making me embarrassed now. I smiled. A wave of relaxation overcame me as I drowned his presence, but I still couldn't stop smiling. Well, it's true. I'm not going to lie to you or something. Hinata started wiggling again and turned around in my arms, pushing himself up to meet me face to face. I gazed into his warm, honey eyes. His body was so warm against mine. He kissed me lovingly, not caring if I looked tired or if my hair was frazzled. I smiled and kissed him back. He was so warm, so intoxicating. He felt like home, he smelled like home. No. Hinata Xiaoya was home. I pulled away. Can I be the big spoon now? He whined. I love you, Dork. Warning: this fanfiction does not belong to me, neither the fan art, credit to the original author and the artist to the fan art and the fan fiction. Haikyuu does not belong to me. Well, by children smiling face with hearts.